Welcome to Aligned, a podcast by Emily and Emily. We are two successful entrepreneurs, artists, dreamers, and lovers of life, dedicated to living in full alignment with who we are, what we do, and how we show up in the world. Join us on a magical journey of juicy conversations that will make you feel inspired, alive, and ready to bring your biggest, wildest, dreamiest dreams to life. If you know in your heart that you are ready to live life at the next level without sacrificing ease, joy, and flow, then this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and tune into the place within you that knows and believes that you are worth everything. Welcome to Aligned, a podcast by M and M, where we talk about all things that feel good, doing business differently, and showing up as our true and most authentic selves. We created a wonderful business called Dream Agency where we really get to do business differently. We are heart-led, feminine forward, and we prioritize flow over force in all areas. Our core values have been for the longest time ease and flow, because we believe that every woman deserves creating their best and most beautiful dream life. And so today we're going to talk about authentic branding. Authentic branding really plays such an important role in creating your dream business and your dream life because it really allows you to align who you are, what you do, and your business so that it all becomes kind of this one identity, this one brand, where you get to show up as your most authentic self and you draw people towards you. You bring customers in. You find the people you're meant to work with. You really are just magnetizing your brand from the core essence of who you are. So we're going to talk about that today and how we have built an authentic brand, what authentic branding means to us, and all of the wisdom and magic little bits and pieces that we want to share with you. So I have Emily Saylor here today, my business partner and
Hi,
total just magical woman. And so we'll start. We'll just get right into it. Emily, what is
Yes.
authentic branding to you?
To me. There's so many juicy points about authentic branding, but I think the one that came up the strongest for me while you were speaking is just the difference between a successful brand versus an authentic brand, and how for so many of us, when we start out creating a business, creating an online brand for ourselves, we think that there are certain things that we have to do. There's certain ways we have to show up, systems that we have to have in place in order to be successful. And the truth is, if we do those things, we might find a little bit of success. But to fully show up as our greatest selves and experience not just success, but absolute fulfillment and joy and those incredible, magical, almost miracle moments that are what make life so sweet and delicious. It's so important for us to show up as our authentic self because, that's when our success isn't capped. It's beyond just what's on paper. It's beyond, it's beyond the image of what success can be, and it's about the feeling and
Yes,
the joy and the emotion,
feeling,
and
it's an energy.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep,
It's an energy
absolutely.
that you put behind a brand, and when people see it,
Yeah,
they feel it.
yeah,
It's not
exactly.
just, oh, this looks nice. This is probably a real business. It's, oh, I feel what these people are putting behind it, and I want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're almost creating a community just by showing up for your business.
Absolutely. So with Dream Agency, how do you feel we did that?
Yeah. Okay. So
Where does it start?
So we actually have a process that we follow for creating an authentic brand. And it really comes, most important point is that we tap into our core first. So I always reference, we have a graphic and it's 3 circles and the inside is your core. So that's who you are, your values, your dream clients. It's really the essence and the core and what makes you, what makes your business unique. And we tap into that first. And then we use that as the foundation for everything we create, every way in which we show up, our interactions with our clients, our interactions with our team, our graphics that we build online, our logo, everything comes from that core first. So then so essentially it's the core first where we're tapping into who we are. And then next ring becomes our visual identity. So how we're showing up. So the logo and colors and tone, and it can even be like systems and culture and best practices and all those things. And then the final ring is like the actual creation of the thing. So the products, services, what you're delivering, any marketing materials that you're putting together. So they all have this link to the core of who you truly are, and it radiates out into everything that you do and be. And yeah, and then when you can create your business from that authentic alignment, again, what you spoke about, that's where the magnetism happens. Because when you can show up from that place of who you truly are and everything that you do and create, it's consistent, it's clear, it's aligned, and people begin to feel it. Like it's beyond just seeing it and knowing it, it's like feeling it. And yeah, and that's where the magic happens.
Yes, that's so well put. Listening to that process, it's the process that we take all of our clients through. It's really like a
Yep.
requirement for us to get clear on those core values, the core that we like to say the essence of who they are. For working with us, that is a requirement. I will say,
Mhm.
though, that most successful businesses, though, they start with that third outer ring. They
Exactly.
just say, I mean, I
Miss the middle
cannot
step.
count. Yeah. And I can't count
Yeah.
how many clients have come to us, to me in my
Hmm.
past business, and just saying, I really just need social media content or just something like
Yeah,
that. Like, I just
totally.
need this because they think that that is what's
Yeah.
going to create their
Yeah.
next level or their success.
Yeah.
And Emily and I always start with, okay, but let's backtrack. Let's get to the core
Yeah.
of who you are. Where is this all coming from? Like,
Yeah.
why are you in business? What's your why? What do you
Yeah.
prioritize? What is your dream? Like just
Yeah.
personally, what's your dream life? And so Emily and I will really like extract, we also like to say this, extract the essence of who they
Yes.
are, because that is truly where an authentic brand is going to come from, is like you said, from that core place, and then everything aligns. That's the foundation. And then everything just is always orienting from that, coming from that, aligning to that, instead of let's just create some deliverables, some creative
Hmm.
pieces
Hmm.
and see what happens. When you start with that core, it's almost like you have a higher power behind it as well, because when you are, and I just did this recently, I just journaled my dream life. Again, I've done it before, but it put me in this incredible, epic dream state. I felt it
Mm.
in my whole body. It was like just this tingly, magnetic, just flow energy running through me. And when you put yourself in that dream state, you're connecting to something greater than you.
Hmm.
And so
Hmm.
when we
Yeah.
do that with clients, it's also an opportunity to get the universe on board. It's
Yep.
an
Totally.
opportunity to say, this is really what I desire. And when you're really speaking from the heart and coming from the heart, greater forces
Yeah.
come to help you and come to give you that lucky break, or it just magnetizes in a way
Yeah.
that you can't imagine.
Words. It's like the unseen. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. The unseen forces that bring true success and fulfillment. Yeah. I also think what makes this process unique as well with our clients is it's also our opportunity to tap into their true essence and who they truly are, and immerse ourselves in it. So then when we are creating for them, we are creating from their true essence, as
Yes.
opposed to, yeah, just make the thing, right? And
Right.
use my brand colors, or they
Right.
might not even have that, right? And so, yeah, again, bringing that unseen force and
Yeah.
power into
And
everything we are creating for them as well.
yeah, because it allows us to make more intuitive decisions as well. So
Yep.
when Emily's doing their branding, if we were just doing what they want, it's going to look so different than if we know who they are and what their
Yep.
dreams are and what they value. Emily almost always ends up presenting a brand that it's almost like I love watching their faces when Emily presents her branding, because it's like something that they had maybe imagined, but didn't ever know how to express. And because Emily has tapped into their essence, she can create something beyond their wildest dreams that's so aligned perfectly for them. And it just gives the most epic wow factor. And it's so incredible to be a part of. And Emily's
I will
branding
say,
is the most amazing in the world.
oh gosh. Thank you. I will say though that the logo creation process is one of my most favorites because it's like the first physical manifestation of the core essence.
Yeah.
So it's the first like tangible thing that you get to see from extracting your essence in that discovery process, which is so fun. And I love to in my process as well, I love to play with different variations because we're all very dynamic individuals. Our businesses are very dynamic. So I like to kind of take it different directions based on what I've heard as well. And then they ultimately have the choice of, you know what, like this, like being dreamy, dream agency is, and being, you know, badass and feminine, that's what speaks to me the most. And so that's the direction I want to go. Because I remember when I presented, just for example, for Dream Agency, when I presented to you, there was a few different directions that we could go. But part of the fun is when you get to choose and be like, yes, okay, this is my $1 million authentic brand. I can feel it. This is the highest version of our business. This is the direction that I want to go, which I think is also a really exciting moment as well. Because it's a choice and a decision, right?
Absolutely. And I think that kind of plays to one of our main points is that authentic branding is not just what sells, it's what
Yeah.
feels good. It feels so
Oh,
fucking
yes.
good. Oh my
So
gosh.
good. Yeah.
Emily created my first business's brand and it hasn't been touched in over 6 years because I love it so much. Every time I go on my website, I feel it. I'm like, oh, this is my core. This is who I am, just like in a visual representation. And so when you did present logos for Dream Agency, there were a couple that were kind of like, "Oh, well, this is kind of what we thought we wanted," and it felt
Exactly.
really spot on. But then the one that we went with, it's because it evoked this feeling of, "Oh, this is me. This is like the blended
Yeah.
core of our essence.
Yeah.
This is it."
Yeah.
And it
Totally.
feels
Yes.
good. And so I think that's at the, foundation of authentic branding is doing what feels good,
Yes.
which is a
Yes.
big rebellion in our
Yeah.
world, but it's
Yeah.
very logical and streamlined and what is going to sell, what is everyone else going to like. And
Yeah.
that's another point we can get into next is like creating from your heart versus creating what you feel like others will like.
Yeah.
And so
Yep.
at the core of
Trying to be
authentic,
liked
yeah,
and trying to do what you think will be successful, what you hear other people say, like even what you hear the experts say. And it's like actually the greatest guidance that you will ever get for creating the most aligned business for what you desire in your life is going to come from inside. It is not
absolutely.
going to come from out here. And that also is a way. So another one of the points that we have is like that authentic branding is the branding of the future.
Yeah,
And I believe that because I believe that it's a way for us to create something that maybe has never been created before. When we
yeah,
look outside of us, we're creating from what other people have done to find success. When we look inside of us, I mean, the inspiration that could come. So we're not only creating something that we love and are excited to show up for and that other people love, but it could be so different than what's ever been created before. And then now there's this ripple effect of inspiring and teaching others, right? And like paving a new way for business to be. And that's what I love so much about Dream Agency because I really feel like it's, yeah, it's a business that has never been created before. We haven't copied anybody else's style to create
right.
this energy and agency.
Yeah.
Um, and it's going to pave the way for how business can be conducted and be successful in the future, which is like what is so exciting to be a part of, right? Why we love showing up for it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes, that gives me chills. And it goes back to the part that I mentioned about doing what feels good in
Mhm.
business is such an
Mhm.
act of rebellion in our world
Yeah.
right now. And Emily and I came together and we decided we're going to create a business and we're going to do it in a way that feels really fucking good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do not care what the status quo is, what everyone
Yeah.
else is doing, because we
Yeah.
know that what's in our hearts needs to come out and
Yeah.
needs to be seen, and it's going to be epic. And people
Yeah.
are going to want to work for us. And cut to now, we have a team who will literally work unpaid at this
The
point.
most amazing team.
They're committed. I can't tell you, like, one of the women in, on our team came to me and said, I am part of this team and I'm here for Dream Agency and I'm here to watch it grow. And I don't even care if you can pay me or not. But I'm
Which
here
is
because
wild.
it feels
By the way, we
right.
really want to pay our people very,
No.
very,
And
very well.
we do
Yeah,
pay.
we do. Yeah.
But we're just starting out. So the cash
Yeah.
flow is a little bit slower and it's a lot more upstart groundwork, getting it off but our team is so committed because, and she said, because it feels good
Yeah.
to work here. It feels good
Yeah.
to show up for this. It's
Yeah.
unlike any company I've ever worked for. You care about mental health. You care about how I'm doing. And Emily and I are going to do a
That
whole
can be a
other
whole nother episode.
podcast
I was just going to say, yeah.
leadership, leading with empathy and love and understanding. But really, I think Emily and I are creating the business that we've always wanted to work for.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
did not exist out in the world. And so we came together and are creating it
Yeah.
ourselves. And at the core, too, was like, we want to do authentic brands. We want to be an authentic
Yeah.
brand. We want to create authentic
Yeah.
brands.
Exactly.
What does that look like? What does that mean to us?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, another question I have, if you want to get into like more specifics.
Mhm.
So what does authentic branding look like in content creation? So we do a lot of content, like monthly content creating. And I have a lot to say on this as well. But, you know, a lot of clients will come to us and they just want us to create content. They feel that monthly content is what's going to get them to the next level. They just want content. And that's the word that's being thrown out so much now. Just make me content. And we definitely can. And of course, we go back to our process that Emily described at the beginning. And then when we get to the actual content creation, what ends up happening is we need their input so much. We need photos of them. We still create, even if we're doing someone else's content, we're still making it so authentic. We're still extracting from them the things we need to be posting content that looks like they posted it themselves, essentially.
Yeah,
and so
and feels like them.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's all about the feeling. Yeah.
Right. And a funny kind of little story about one of our clients. We do so much content for her and we've been doing it for years. And every time we look at the analytics of what's performing best, it's never the things that we spent the most time on.
Oh my gosh, I believe that so much too. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's never the thing that we branded all cute and made look so amazing. I swear it's always the thing that looks like she just took a selfie and posted it and talked about her feelings. And actually,
because it's real. Yeah.
Because it's real. And the post that actually has to this day performed best for this particular client is a photo of her recovering from a broken ankle.
No way.
Yeah. And she had sent me a text with that photo and like talking about it. And I basically just regurgitated it and posted it for her. And everyone loved it. And it had the most engagement of all time. And it's because it was real. It was authentic. It felt relatable. It felt like you were just talking to her. It was very authentic. And so that's really what we find is what does best. And then from a branding perspective, like, how do you create authentic content, monthly content?
Authentic monthly content. Well, I feel like you just spoke to all of it.
It's just
no, it's all good.
I meant to ask you a question and then I answered it.
But what that inspired in me was something that we had talked about earlier, which is the buzzword of humanizing your brand, and that it's something that corporations want to do, or like bigger companies essentially, like they want to humanize their brand, and they think that they'll do that through
more branding,
pictures. Yeah, exactly. Pictures of people. Yeah, exactly. More defined brand guidelines that incorporate humanize. And I'm like, gosh, if you could just put some feeling into your writing and your pictures and your stories and make it more about the feeling as opposed to being perfect, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's, showing up as this professional business like a robot. And yeah, like if you can remove that, and even I think about responding to like crises or whatever in a joking, lighthearted manner, or it's just really about being more real
Real.
and like
Yeah.
how humans would talk to each other, and
Right.
yeah, and
Not so
coming from the heart,
scripted.
and
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, which also leads me to another point that we wanted to talk about, which was what authentic branding is, but also what it isn't. Because I do think that it's really important that as we are creating our brand, as we are creating content, yes, we're tapping into our core essence, but we're keeping that what feels good at the front of our mind when we're choosing what to share. Because you do not have to share everything about your life to be an authentic brand, or everything about your business, or like that is not how it has to be. You get to share what feels really good to you, what feels exciting to you. I love the saying, like, what's light is right. And
Yes.
so if it evokes that good feeling in you, then it's likely, yeah, it's likely what is true for you to follow and share and create.
It's like a bit of a sweet spot between showing up with this facade. That's one end of the
Mhm,
spectrum of what
mhm,
what sells. What do people
mhm,
need me to look like in order to
mhm.
make more sales? This very rigid, almost like mask you put on before sharing content. It's one end of the spectrum. And then the other
Yep.
end, like you're saying, is like oversharing, broadcasting every moment of your life to where it is a little unprofessional. We don't need to see all of that. And so it's
Right.
this sweet spot in the middle. And I think Dream Agency, we do it so well where we have real and authentic kind of a library of photos and assets that we use that were taken by us in a very real way. And we share that with a bit of branding, like a little like magic
Mhm,
touch
mhm.
of branding.
Mhm,
And then we always make our captions really real. Like they're not scripted. It's very much what's in the moment, what we're feeling. Because I think that is what people are drawn to. If you
mhm,
can
mhm,
tell on Instagram or social media or websites and video content, you can tell when people are trying too hard, when they're like
mhm.
forcing themselves into this box. And gosh, Emily and I are definitely not here to be forced
Not
into
in the
any
box.
sort of box.
Yeah,
Get me out of
absolutely.
that
Yeah.
box. I just want to be real. I just want to be
Yeah.
me. And that's really what authenticity is being yourself.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you're doing it as a brand, you're just refining it a little bit. You might be pulling back a little bit or loosening up a little bit to find that magical sweet
What feels
spot
good?
of what feels
That's
good.
really, yeah, that's really what and like, I think it's worth noting too that if what feels really good to you, especially as a starting place, is that you've taken a course, they've outlined how to get started with a business, and you follow it to a T. Like, if that's what really feels good to you to start, do that
Yeah.
100%. That's leading you still. That's still doing what's authentic to you and true for you. If you are like super drawn to share a story about yourself that like is a lot, but it actually helps women a lot because of what you went through, and it feels like what's true for you to do and what's right for you to do. Like it really, it's kind of like a, yeah, like a gut check before you create
Yeah.
something. Is this in alignment? And
Right.
especially, so something that we do for all of our clients is create like a brand positioning statement, which is really like an encapsulation of your essence. So all the questions that we ask, all the core work that we do, we put it in a sentence. And the goal of this sentence is that you can do that gut check. And this is especially helpful when you have lots of people on your team. So you can do a bit of a gut check. Does this align with what I'm creating, with what I believe in, with what feels good according to my core and what's true for me? So,
When you're doing
yeah.
what's true for you, there's really no right or wrong.
Yeah,
Like we're kind of
exactly.
giving some examples and guidelines. But the goal of everything we're saying is to do that gut check and to
Yeah.
know this is
Yeah.
right for me, and
And
if it's
trust
right for
yourself. Ooh,
you, right,
yeah.
and you trust
Yeah.
that it will be seen and
Yeah.
heard, that is authentic branding. And
Yeah,
it might
totally.
it might be crazy. There's definitely
Yeah.
some brands out there who are doing some off the wall
Yeah.
stuff,
True.
but it's authentic
Working for
and
them.
people are
Yeah.
watching. And
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and maybe what's true for you is being really like more reserved and like
Mm. Yep.
almost very neutral and dare I say like
Yep.
boring. But there's going to be people who resonate with that as well.
Totally.
And I think
Yeah.
that's the key to remember when creating content is that you're not here for everyone to like you. You're
Yeah.
here to find the people that
Yeah.
resonate with what you have to
Yeah.
offer. And there will
Yeah.
always be someone,
Yep.
groups of people out there who do, because we live in a very large world and we're able to reach many,
Yep.
many audiences.
Yep.
And every single human is different. And so
Yep.
there's always going to be people who resonate with your authenticity. And it's really just about finding the courage and the
Mhm.
power within to
Mhm.
rise above the fear
Mhm.
and the ego and everything
Yep.
that's holding you back and just show up as
Mhm.
your truest, most authentic self and see what happens. Watch the ripple effect. The first few times you might not hear anything, and that's okay
Mhm.
too. It's good practice.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, when we started this podcast, we were like,
Yeah.
we don't really have an audience yet, but who
Yeah.
cares? Like, we're going to show the
Exactly.
fuck up
It feels
anyway.
so good. So
It
let's do
feels
it. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this whole podcasting project for us is not for the money. It's not for the
No.
sales. It's because it
Yep.
feels so darn good
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
to show up in this way and share who we are in an authentic outlet. And
Mhm.
we're committed. And
Mhm.
there is no doubt in my heart
Mhm.
that this will be an epically successful podcast because we got so clear, so aligned. We know it feels good. We know it's true for us, and we're committed to
Yep.
showing up.
Yep.
And to me,
Totally.
that is how you build an authentic brand right there.
Totally. Totally agree. I really want to point out and emphasize what you said. You're not going to speak to everyone and be liked by everyone.
Yeah.
And that really is a part of creating an authentic brand, especially online nowadays, is we cannot be attached to what other people think of us. We
Yes.
really have to stand true in ourselves and our trust and our heart when we are showing up online and creating our brands and our businesses, because there is no way to be liked by everyone. And the saying, like, if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely an edge that everybody will come
Yeah.
up against as they're creating their business. But if you can get over the hump and start to attract your tribe, like, oh God, yeah, then that's when ripples
Yeah.
happen and yeah.
Absolutely. And then I think, so that's kind of where to start, right? And then I think
Mhm.
when you're ready to take it to the next level, you then create a system around it.
Yeah. Ooh,
And
yeah, I like
right. And it's
yeah,
still
that's
authentic. It's not
yeah,
super scripted, but you now know
yeah,
what works for you, the type of
totally.
content you want to share, what's aligned. And now
Yeah.
you create a system around it. You have a team who helps you create this. Or if it's just you have systems in place, things on your calendar, software that you use to make it quicker and easier to get out. Because
Mhm.
I promise you, once you start showing up authentically, people want more. And
Mhm.
then the
True.
next hump you're up against is, oh gosh, I I can't keep
Yeah.
doing this
How do I keep
consistently.
up? Right.
And so that's where we come in too for brands is we can do it consistently for you. But
Mhm.
if you're just starting out and you're smaller, even finding just one assistant or creating the
Mhm.
systems yourself, that's really what's going to keep that momentum going and take you to the next level. And
Mhm.
then I would say the level after that is then everything's automated. It's running
Mhm.
on its own. And then you
Mhm.
get to start doing projects that feel good to you again. So maybe it's a podcast, maybe it's writing a book, maybe it's doing something out in the world, like starting
That's
a
definitely
networking
an
event.
inside of our process. I would say that probably is not true for everybody, but absolutely, if you want to be big and you want to create consistent content, that is what is true for us, right?
It's true.
We really care about showing up consistently. And that is our process for doing that. There are also a lot of clients that we work with, or a lot of people who come to us, they want that consistent content. They want to reach more people. They want to do more in the world. They want to have their content taken care of for them so that they can work on other things that they're passionate about and excited about. And so that's definitely a trend that we see and that we're here for sure. 100% is what we are creating. It's what we love. It's what feels really good to us. Um, but yeah, everyone's gonna find their own groove,
Right. I
for
think
sure.
just the theme of it all, though, is you get into a flow
Yeah.
and then you continuously create space to do
Yeah.
more of what you love
Yeah,
and whatever
totally.
that looks like.
Totally.
Um,
Oh, yeah, that feels really good.
Which is also why, with every client we work with, we get to know what their dreams are. And I know I already mentioned this, but like
Mm.
specifically, what if you had all the money in the world, if you
Exactly.
had all the time in the world, what would you be doing?
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
usually
Yeah.
not related to business.
Yeah.
Usually business, and that's the kicker, right? Usually our
Yeah.
business is what's helping us to do more of what we love. And so when we know for our clients, for me, it's painting and surfing. If I
Right.
had all the money in the world, I would wake up and I would go surfing and then I'd paint all day. And knowing that, it fuels my business.
Mhm.
It makes me motivated to create the systems and processes I need so that I can just step back and go surf. And so when we know our clients' deepest desires and their dreams, we're able to really
Mhm.
work with them on that. And we even will visualize it for them. It's
Mhm.
we're doing this for them so that they can go
Mhm.
do whatever they want, whether it's
Yeah,
like sail
absolutely.
across the ocean, spend more time with kids, anything that they desire. That's what also fuels us and keeps us motivated.
Yeah. So essential, that like first conversation, digging into the core, and then also, yeah, their vision. Like when I'm working with more corporate clients, I'll say like ideal state, right?
Right.
Like genuinely, truly, what is ideal? What's the dream? Because I think that a lot of people don't even allow themselves to
That's the
believe that it's
dream.
possible
Right.
and to believe that it can happen, right? And so then they do the things that they think they gotta do to get
Right.
by. And it's okay, but let's tap into your heart's deepest desires here, hold that vision. And then it's almost like the core and then the vision's on the outside, right? And we are like getting to that.
Right.
We're
It's
creating
full
that through the,
circle.
yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
and
Yeah.
it's really I think that's also why we love doing what we do
Yeah, it
because
is.
it's not just an agency, it's not just branding, it's not just content creation. We're helping people to
Live
allow
their dreams.
themselves to dream.
Yeah.
And some people know their dreams, some people do not, and it's so rewarding to give people the space and the tools and the
Permission.
guidance and the
Hmm.
permission
Hmm.
to just dream. What is
Hmm.
your dream life? And we're going to help you
Oh,
get
totally.
there. Yeah.
One of my favorite, so on top of creating the logo, another one of my favorite moments is at the end of those calls, those discovery calls. And they are like, our clients are buzzing and they're
Yeah.
just like, wow. And they can feel it. And we've had clients work with us before just because of that feeling. Like, we're for
Right.
sure priced beyond other people's price point and stuff. And yeah, because of that, because it feels so good to tap
Right.
into your dream and believe it's possible and believe that you have the support and the help and can make it happen. And lots of people don't let themselves go there. But once you do, you can't go back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that's a good point too. Authentic branding, everything we talked
Yeah.
about here today.
The two are
We
connected.
Well, and we naturally attract our dream clients. The people
Yeah.
who come to
Yeah.
us are also like we don't
Yep.
even we love to not use typical marketing terms like target audience and
Yeah.
ideal avatar. We just call them our dream clients.
Yeah.
They're truly
Exactly.
like who
They
we
are.
want to
Yeah.
work with as well.
Yeah.
And the moment we connect, you feel the energy.
Yeah. You
They
do. Yeah.
are inspired by us. We are inspired by
Yeah.
them. And you just feel it. And it's, of course, we have to work together. It's a no brainer. And then the rest is like the proposal and like the sales pitches and all that. That's so essential to a very traditional sales funnel in business. That's just like fluff for us. It's just like a formality.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
already know
Yeah.
that these
It's
people are going to
true.
work with us. And
Mhm.
there's already that trust. There's already that feeling and the energy connection. And
Yeah.
so we just quickly write up a proposal and it's a no
Yeah.
brainer for them to sign. And I think that is the beauty of authentic branding as
Yeah.
well and businesses is the hard parts of business become so much easier
Yeah.
because it's
True.
just all flowing and it all
Yeah.
feels good. And it's like
Yeah.
money is there and money is necessary, and we love money. And also it's almost like the connection is so strong with clients that you would do it anyway. Like
Yeah,
you just
exactly.
because you love it, because you want to
Yeah,
help them, you believe
exactly.
in them. And we love to say we're invested in our clients' dreams as much as we are our
Yes.
own. So
Yes.
we deeply care. And that's also what's different about our business is we care deeply. We're invested. We love our clients and we want to hold their hand until they're where they want to be. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then it just all feels so good and juicy.
Yeah, it just snowballs. It just
It
gets
just
better and
snowballs. It gets
better.
better and better. Ugh. I also
Yes.
want to point out just like a little nugget because I think it'll help clarify. And I feel like I've been doing this throughout, but help clarify the authenticity piece. So Em and I don't love doing proposals. There could be someone out there though that frigging loves proposals.
Right, right, right.
And so that's their secret sauce, right? And so
Yeah.
they hone in on that and then they make it this incredible part of their journey. And that's what hooks their clients. Whereas
Right.
for Em and I, the
Oh,
relationship with our clients is the juicy part. That's
right.
what they're like our soulmate. Yeah. So that's what we focus on. That's where the magic
Right.
comes. That's where we're tapping into our authenticity. And yeah. And that's what creates our successful business because that's who we are and what works for
Right.
us and what feels good to us. And so it's really about, yeah, like looking inside of yourself and
Yeah.
saying, oh, like, frick, I love this, or this is my strength, or,
Right.
and I'm going to lean on that. And that's going to become a part of my business and make me unique and make me successful. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I am all about leaning into your strengths
Yeah.
because that
Yeah.
is what magnifies and amplifies and versus trying to always fix your weaknesses. That
Yep.
is exhausting, that is hard, that is resistant. It just doesn't feel good. So, yeah, I love that. There's no one prescription, no one
Hmm. That's
formula,
just
no
it.
one
Yeah.
way. And
Yeah.
that's what Dream Agency is as well. It's we decided that no one gets to tell
Hmm.
us
Hmm.
what is successful for us.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
are creating it because we know
Yeah.
who we are and we know what works for us and we
Yeah.
know what we love to do and we know that we want to live in our strengths and the rest
Yes.
just is. And
Yeah.
you find people to manage the things that you're not good at and
Yeah.
they love that. Our podcast editor, Anna, shout
Oh,
out to Anna. We love her so
yes.
much because she loves to do all the
Yeah.
things that we do not like to do. And it fuels
Exactly.
her, it lights her up. And
Yeah.
we are lit up by not having to do it and
Yeah.
seeing someone
Totally.
thriving in those areas. So,
Yeah.
yes, we're all about living in your strengths and
Yeah.
amplifying what makes you you
Yeah.
and leaning
Yeah.
into that.
So I feel like I want to leave them with our our followers, our listeners with next steps because I think that this is something authenticity is something that we have been practicing for a long time, Em. So
Right.
like believing in ourselves, trusting our heart, following our desires, like knowing that that is the way because we have lived that for so long and received the evidence that it works. We're quite confident in that. But there's lots of people who will be listening who like have never ever considered that before.
Right.
And I know for myself, one of my starting points for this was writing a list of 50 ways, and I've potentially shared this before, but it's so powerful. Writing a list of 50 ways in which you are awesome. And I think that's just a really easy starting, well, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
easy, but
Yeah.
a really simple starting point where we begin looking at our strengths and who we truly are and what we love and the things that are awesome about ourselves as
Yeah.
a place to start developing that authentic brand and authentic business because it takes a lot of courage as we talked about but belief in ourselves as well
Right.
when we lead our business and life in this way. So I just want to share that little tip.
Yeah.
Maybe you have one too. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
awesome.
just on that tip though, I remember it was so long ago, like, well, I say so long, but 5 years ago? That's long for me.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years ago. I think you shared that with me, and it was such a pivotal point in my life.
Hmm.
Truly, I remember the day, I remember the
Wow.
journal. I did 55 it was, I think, Reasons I'm Awesome, but it was like a confidence exercise. And it was
Mhm,
when
mhm.
I had started my first business. And as a solopreneur, I was just always in self doubt because I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what I was building. And just every day was like a whole adventure. And I remember feeling really down. And you shared that. And yeah, I can literally visualize me writing out the 55 things, and it's such a process, like, 50
Mhm.
things is a lot.
But
It's not
yes.
5 or 10, it's a lot, and so after
Yeah.
about 5 or 10, you start having to dig deep, and I
Yeah.
think that's what's so powerful. You're
Yep.
also having to fight the internal critic of all the reasons why you're not awesome, and you have
Yep.
to shove all that away,
Yep.
and you're working with the self-doubt, and it's all just in 20 minutes or something that it
Yep.
takes you, and I know some people might struggle and have to, like, put it away and then come back to it, and that's part of the process too. 50 things is a lot, but when I did it, oh my gosh, I changed, like, it was als
Mhm.
almost like my inner, like, chemistry changed
Mhm.
because I was really allowing myself to appreciate myself and see my strengths, and it was powerful. It was really powerful. So, highly
Mhm.
recommend doing that if anyone needs a place to start. I would say the place that I started that I think is helpful and really simple, and you can kind of just keep it in the back of your mind as you're going throughout your day, is actually like looking back on your past. Our little selves, our child selves, know who they are. There's no question about it. We
Ooh, love
know
that.
who we are.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so thinking back to when you were little, what did you love? What lit you up? What did you go nuts
Mm.
for? And even
Love that.
growing up, high school, what classes did you like? Which ones did you absolutely loathe? And when we were in school, we weren't allowed to dislike
Right.
class. We were forced to be good at it. And so now as an adult, you can look back and be like, well, I don't ever have to force myself to do calculus again. But what were some of the classes I did get really excited for? And when I looked back, it was English and art. And I loved to write and I loved to paint. And so it was true for me. And yeah, just remembering your young, innocent self and whatever he or she loved to do likely is still in your heart now. And it's something you can lean into. And yeah, I think that's kind of where I
That's
started
amazing.
and
Yeah.
just
I
allowing that
actually
to come back through you as an adult.
totally. I remember doing a very similar exercise, and it came from a book by Dr. Dane here, Being You, Changing the World. Highly recommend as
Mm.
we're tapping into our authentic selves. And he recommended an exercise where you close your eyes and you ask the question, what is a time in my life when I was truly being me? And
Yeah,
allowing that memory to show up and come through. And yeah, exactly, like extracting the tidbits of what that means to be who you truly are.
right.
And I remember having a memory that's so random, but, or at least it felt random. It was a memory of me as a little girl. I was wearing a sundress and I was in the back. We had like huge 80 acres of trees at our farm. And I was running through the bush in bare feet. And like
Yes.
it was like embracing my freedom. Like that's what it felt
Yeah.
like to me, was like that was a freedom. Like I was in nature. I was just running. Like I'm very active. I love to be on the move doing lots and like embracing that that's good and that's a part of who I am. And then yeah, being in nature, being
That's so
barefoot.
beautiful because you have a whole photo shoot that looks exactly like that, and
That's true. Like,
it's part of our
oh my gosh, I
branding.
do.
It's like a main
Yes.
part of our branding.
That is so true. Oh my gosh. Wow. Never made
Yes.
that connection.
Yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
just when you were saying that, I was visualizing that photo shoot. She has
Cool.
a beautiful photo shoot of her in a sundress
I'm in
running
bare
through a
feet too.
field. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
that's beautiful,
Well,
yeah, and then it became part of our branding because
yeah.
it's true,
Yep.
it's authentic,
Core
it's
essence.
core
Yep.
essence of Emily, yeah. Wow, I
Amazing.
love that.
Ugh,
All right.
this is so
I think this
good.
wraps it up.
Yes, I think
Thank you
so
all
too.
for listening,
Thank you
and we hope we
guys.
inspired something in you today. And we just love being here and talking with everyone. Well, talking at everyone. Yes. And we will hopefully upload these on YouTube so that we can get some feedback from the audience and
Absolutely.
respond and interact with you guys in the comments. But
And would love to, if you guys can think of anyone where you think that this would really brighten their day as well and
Sure.
resonate, yeah, share with your people.
Yes. Right. That's it from us. We hope you all have a beautiful, magical day full of ease and flow and joy and living in your strengths.
Love it.
Thank you so much, dreamers, for tapping in, turning on, and leveling up with us today. May you always remember your true worth, find alignment in every day, and live your dreamiest life. That is our biggest dream for you. You can find us on our website at dreamagency.biz, socials at dreamagencybiz, or email us at emily@dreamagency.biz. Make sure to subscribe, follow, share with those you love, and reach out. We can't wait to connect with you.